Hey guys, what's going on? Hope all of you are doing very well out there. I'm on my way to the auto parts store because I have to pick up a few things, but recently I've been asked about the Money Pit Jetta. Now, I always forget that there's new subscribers. Some of you might not even know what the Money Pit Jetta is. And really, the Money Pit Jetta is when a rebuild project goes wrong. I'm going to show you the current state the car is in, and while it's drivable and while it's actually completely been rebuilt, well, it still has quite a few issues. So let's follow up when we get to the auto parts store. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. There she is, the Money Pit Jetta. I'm gonna park right by it. Now before we get to this, which actually looks really good the way it's just sitting right now, I'm gonna do a quick oil change in the parking lot. That's why I came to the auto parts store, to get the oil down here, to also get the filter. And you might be wondering how in the heck I'm gonna pull this off, and that's what this pump is for. Since this is a German car, you could do an oil change on the top of the car without getting underneath it. You just put one end of the pump in the dipstick hole. The other one goes into one of my million empty bottles on the floor here, and then I'll be able to take it right into the auto parts store, this wall, and recycle the oil. I've never done it at the auto parts store, but I'm gonna try and see if I can do it today, and then we'll get to that thing. All right, everything is hooked up, and let's just turn this bad boy on. Let's see what happens. There it is. See the oil going through it? All right, same parking spot, different day. We ran out of light the other night, so we're back today. Turbo Mike has given me the keys to the Money Pit Jetta, and well, here she is. At first glimpse in the interior, looks like a Jetta with a missing door panel and glove box in the same shape that I think I showed it last time. Let me get in, let's just move it real quick. Geez, he's got a real gangster lean on this seat. Here, let me show you what pops up on the dashboard. Just about every single light imaginable. Let's pop the hood. I'm going to give you guys a brief history on this car for those of you who are not familiar with it. If we come around the front and you take a look, besides the hood popped, it looks like a Jetta GLI, and one that's in pretty decent condition. There are a few dings on the hood, you know, normal stuff. The first thing you notice is down here, the fog light's missing. The reason that's missing is it's actually in there, but we had to install what you can see behind there. That's the windshield washer reservoir. And so Mike took the fog light out at this point. He hasn't had the time to put it back in. And if we go along the side, this is where the majority of the damage was. This fender, this door, and believe it or not, it lines up, I'd say halfway decent for how severe of an accident this was in. I'll show you guys in a second how severe it really was. When we go around the back, none of this was really touched. The whole car was repainted, but nothing body-wise was redone. So now that you've seen the outside of the Money Pit Jetta and you got an idea of what it is, let me show you the disaster under the hood. First thing is I've got to hold this hood up by myself. Second of all, it's tough to show you, but right here is where a complete corner of a car was welded in. And if you could see right there, the paint is chipping where the body shop painted this apron black. Well, really more than this apron, this entire corner. When I got this car, this whole entire corner was basically ripped off. Now, it was doctored up, it was still there. But what had happened is this car had gotten into an accident with a light pole, ripping this front corner backward this way. Here, check out this picture right here. This is a picture I saw after I had purchased the car, before I did any due diligence. This Jetta has changed the way I look at and research cars at the auction. I've put thousands of dollars more into it than this car is worth, and it's still not completely finished. So you might ask, well, what's the big deal? It looks pretty decent. Besides a few things not lining up perfectly, which is to be expected on a rebuilt title car, It's just that when you have this much damage, and behind all of this, which you can't see, are a lot of wires. Here, let me give you an example. If we come over here to the passenger side, why this is still all disconnected, there's wires that run into the door. There's wires here. And at one point I had a lot of stuff working in this car, like the air conditioner, like the windows. And at this point, so many electronics don't work, and they're so difficult to figure out where the problem is. This entire door was replaced, and since it was replaced with a base model Jetta door, not a GLI door, it's missing some of the features, so some of the harnesses are different, and it just complicates things that much more. So here's a list of everything that doesn't work on the Jetta that I'm aware of. Number one, the heated seats, they come on and off at will, which is not good, because if they come on, well, the AC is broken in the car, and we live in sunny Florida. So you got a black car with no AC, with heated seats that sporadically come on and off. Now, number two is easy. I just said it, the AC doesn't work. That's a huge problem. At one point it did work, but if you guys remember when this car got flooded, roll the clip right now. All right, tell me, can you see that? Do you see how wet it is? How about if I show you this right here? How about that right there? Do you see all that water collecting down there? Yeah. That took out so many things that I had working. I thought I figured it out. Where the water pooled up, there was a bunch of ground wires, and I thought that some of them must have corroded or had a problem. If I peel back the carpet here, I don't even have to peel back the carpet. There's ground wires all attached to these posts. We've cleaned every single one of them. We've tested every single one of them. They're all good. So something's going on that we haven't been able to figure out. Like I said, a lot of the electronics in the door, these doors have to be manually locked. There's so many functional electrical issues that just don't work. So with all that being said, is there any redeeming quality about this car? And there's really one. And I'm gonna show you right there. You see the mileage is 32,642. That's 32,000 original miles on a 2013 car. This car does have a rebuilt title, meaning it's completely street legal. The engine and transmission function flawlessly, and that's totally surprising given that this car was in as bad of a front end accident as it was. I mean, this thing was hit so hard, the engine was tilted so heavily on the passenger side, and the people that doctored this car up actually had it just sitting. See, the motor mount is right there. That motor mount was completely destroyed. They had it propped up by a little metal rod. I wish I could tell you more positive things about this car, but really I can't. Mike was in desperate need of a car when I happened to be wanting to just off this car as a project, and just as kind of like an agreement, he's borrowing the car from me and he's agreed to fix it, although we could see not a lot of stuff has gotten fixed, and specifically the problems all lie in the corner that I've shown you a million times now. So if I can give you one takeaway from this, and how not to end up with a Money Pit Jetta, do your research. Something I didn't do. This car sold for super cheap. A Jetta GLI with a 2-liter turbo engine for only $2,400. It looked just like this. That was the auction I'd been on. Of course, it had been doctored up. At the same time, I was in the middle of rebuilding this. I only paid $2,900 for my Fiesta ST, and so I thought, geez, $2,900 for this, $2,500 for that. They're relatively new cars. How can you go wrong? Well, you can go wrong. I've got over $12,000 sunk into this car, and on a good day with everything working, it might be worth, I don't know, 8 or 9. The next thing is, when I brought this car into a body shop, I brought it into a body shop that was super optimistic. They said, no problem, we could fix that. Just go get us a corner from another Jetta. We'll piece it in there. You'll have it in 2 to 3 weeks. 10 months later, 10 months, they hadn't finished the car. I had to take possession of the car because they didn't finish it. And I really believed what they had to say. This car gave me an education in salvage cars like I couldn't believe. You can't just go in and weld a whole new corner and expect things to fit. Here, let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. Since that corner was welded in, obviously it's not as accurate as the factory. Look at this bumper. This is an OEM Volkswagen bumper. I had a third-party bumper. It wouldn't even fit. The OEM bumper fits closer, but it won't push all the way in and stay. It just won't. When I approved them doing that work, that set me up for a complete disaster. Now, only paying $2,500 for this car with a working engine and transmission, plus all the fees, even I paid over $3,000 at that point, I could have got my money back just in the powertrain. And I could have then went and taken the car to a salvage yard where they would have paid me for the metal, and it would have been a done deal. I'd have broken even, and the car would have been out of my life. But now, it's here, it's on the road, and like I said, as far as the driving aspect goes, it's 100% there. As far as all the features go, it's like they don't even exist. For all you out there wondering what happened to the Money Pit Jetta, I hope you have your answer. Now, if you have any questions, as always, please let me know. Don't find yourself buying a car like this. Go through, watch some of my old videos. Watch the video specifically on this car. Watch some of the things I went through so you don't have to go through it yourself. If you have any questions, as always, you can find all my contact information in the description box below. Guys, I really appreciate you watching this video, and I will catch you very soon.